Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So in case you didn't know, just coming up in a couple months will be my 9-year vegan anniversary. So I just got my blood tested in the past week, so I'm just kind of rounding up a little bit, 9 years vegan here. So anyway, for all the naysayers who think I'm just cherry picking, just showing the good stuff, I have my complete blood test here for you to pause and tear through and see that I'm not cherry picking. So here's my basic blood cell work, and as you see, everything is within range, as it always is. So let's take a close look at my vitamin B12 levels, because there's so many anti-vegans who just flat out wrongly assert that vegans are inherently deficient in B12. We just simply can't get it, especially as long-term vegans.
Other nutrients like B12,
That's an issue.
That's a big issue.
But if you stay on that the majority of your life, you cannot get vitamin B12.
So let's prove Chris Kresser and Josh Axe wrong. If you look at my blood test from 2013, you'll see I have very respectable non-deficient B12 levels. And mind you, I was vegan for 3 years, taking no supplements. If you flash forward to last week, instead of dropping to dangerously deficient levels, my B12 levels have risen more than doubled to 1100. And you'll notice that's on the very high end of the reference range. So you may wonder, how do I have such crazy high B12 levels? Well, just take a sublingual B12 spray 2-3 times a week, like that, handled. And I'm sure there'll be a few anti-vegan haters in the comments saying, well, if you have to take a supplement for your diet, then your diet doesn't have all the nutrients it needs. Well, that's complete nonsense. I wasn't deficient when I started. I just took a B12 supplement because I should, because nearly 40% of all Americans are either low in their B12 levels or close to low. And in fact, people my age, 50 and above, it's recommended they take a B12 supplement anyway, regardless of their diet. So, speaking of anti-vegan haters, we probably all heard at least once, where do you get your protein though? Well, let's let the blood test show where I get my protein. It's from plants. Anyway, let's look at my levels for protein and albumin, which tests for liver and kidney function, but as well, check to see if you're getting enough protein in your diet. As you'll see here, everything is within range, even calcium, which is right in here too. And we always hear that vegans are anemic. We can't get enough iron, and I have an anemia profile here, and as we see, everything is well and safely within range. Next, let's see if I'm diabetic, because anti-vegans out there like Berg say people like me who eat a high carbohydrate rich diet should be diabetic.
Guidelines for carbohydrates by the American Diabetes Association is 40 to 60 grams of carbohydrate a day. This is insane. How much carbohydrate do we need, or how much do we require? 0. We don't need carbohydrates. In fact, we're better without carbohydrates.
Oh really, Dr. Berg? Can you show me any credible professional health organization that says we're better off without eating carbohydrates, no plants in our diet, essentially? I mean, that's just complete craziness. Let's see how horrible my blood tests have gone from eating the way I do. And as you see here, my hemoglobin A1C tests, fine and healthy, as they always are, below 5.7. And also my fasting glucose, as always, it's in the low to mid 90s, healthy, non-diabetic. So next, let's have a look at my lipid panel to see if I'm deficient in cholesterol, because a lot of anti-vegans love to assert falsely that since we're not eating dietary cholesterol in the form of animal products, vegans are deficient in cholesterol. And if you guys remember my blood test video from last year, you might remember that my bad cholesterol levels were a little on the high side. How could that be? Well, my guess was, and I think I'm right, it was from eating foods that had coconut oil, which is high in saturated fat, which raises your cholesterol levels. So I've been avoiding foods and saturated fat and coconut oil religiously for months, and I've got some results to show you. My total cholesterol dropped from 207 last year to 170, well within the reference range. Well, my triglycerides remain low, and my good cholesterol still remains healthy. And the one I want to point out here is LDL, the bad cholesterol. That was 129 last year, and now it's dropped 25 points down to 104, just a few points above the reference range. I know some of you might be wondering, how much lower could I get my total cholesterol and LDL down to? Could I get it below 150 like Dr. Esselstyn recommends? Well, I told you I'm avoiding foods that have high saturated fat and coconut oil in particular. However, I'm not eating a completely oil-free diet. However, as you guys know, in the home here, we don't cook with oil. We don't own cooking oil. In our book, Keep It Carb Baby, it's completely oil-free. So we're doing great there. However, you guys know we do go to vegan restaurants and pop-ups from time to time, and I'll get some oil then. So what would happen though? What if I were to avoid all those restaurants and pop-ups and eat just at home? How much lower could I get my cholesterol? Well, I think I know, because that's how I ate back in 2013. Let's jump back then, and you'll see my total cholesterol is still 166, only 4 points lower than it is now. And my LDL cholesterol, not super low, it's still 86. So you might not be aware, it's not all dietary factors that affect one's cholesterol levels. There's genetic factors, and it just might be genetically next to impossible for me to get below that 150 level that Dr. Esselstyn recommends. For comparison's sake, I found a lipid panel of mine from 1999. That's 20 years ago. And most people, as they age, their blood tests tend to get worse. They typically don't improve. And let's take a look what I looked like back in 1999. According to the anti-vegans, this was me in my prime at 30 years old, 32 years old, and I should be degenerating worse and worse ever since. Well, let's see my lipid panel from 1999. As you see here, it's horrible. My total cholesterol is 218. High triglycerides, 193, low HDL, low good cholesterol, and my LDL, remember, it's 104 right now. Well, it was a whopping 141 back then. I almost forgot vitamin D. How could I ever get vitamin D levels? Because my hardcore viewers might remember that last year when I got my blood tested in the wintertime, my vitamin D blood levels were 28.8, just a little bit below 30 where you want to be. Well, this year I got my blood tested in the summertime, getting more sunshine, exercising a little bit more outdoors, and I hit that 30 mark once again. I should mention that my doctor back last year said, "Oh, I'll write you a script for vitamin D pills." I said, "No, don't worry, I got it handled. I know what to do. Just get out and get some sun," and exactly that's what happened, and my levels are good now. So hopefully you enjoyed this blood test video of mine. I really enjoy making these. I like, for some reason, going and get my blood tested and seeing the results afterwards. I love sharing them with you guys, and I particularly love showing people that you can be healthy long-term as a vegan. Now approaching 9 years and still waiting for all these horrible things that these anti-vegans claim will happen to me. They keep saying my health's going to deteriorate, I'm going to fall apart, my blood results are going to be horrible, and they say this to me every year, and my results just keep getting better and better, particularly my B12 levels. So anyway, please share this video with others who might be telling you or might be concerned that you cannot be vegan long term, your health's going to fall apart. Show them a healthy 52-year-old slam dunking vegan with great blood tests. And by the way, guys, the shirt I've been wearing is from Sail Ranch Sanctuary, and they could sure use your support right now. They just took on this cute new little goat with all sorts of health issues, and they have some, health and medical expenses related to that. So please go to their site. I'll put a link in the show description. They can use everything and anything you can afford to send them right now. So that's all for this time, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and remember, guys, it sure doesn't suck being vegan.